Welcome to the podcast. It's Mr. Ish. We're here at KIPS Bay Boys and Girls Club, Couture Clubhouse. I'm sorry, I came in a little hot today. I just had to reset the podcast equipment. I think the new firmware is working nice and good. Thank you, Rode, for always updating my stuff. Today we have a nice topic. Never had it before. Let's start off with our introductions, please. We'll start off, young lady to my left.
My name is Emily, and I'm 8 years old.
Okay, Emily, welcome to the podcast.
My name is Noah, and I'm 8 years old.
Noah came in hot just like I did.
My name is Lynn, and I'm 8 years old.
Welcome to the podcast. 8 all over. You know, 8 is my favorite number. All right, guys, this is a different topic. We've never spoken about this before. But who wants to tell the people what we're talking about? Hey, you don't have to breathe like
Puerto
that
Rico.
on the phone.
We're talking about Puerto Rico.
All right, be a little more excited.
We're talking about Puerto Rico.
What is
I had that queued up. I was saving it. I was saving it for one of these days where I could use it. We're talking about Puerto Rico. Talking about the land, its people, the food. What else could we talk about?
Can I talk about the food?
Well, we could all take a topic.
The food.
Let's start off with Puerto Rico, the land. Where is that? Who could tell me where Puerto Rico is at?
I do not know.
Don't raise your hand here. We're in a podcast.
Okay.
We're gonna talk.
So I believe the land is found in United States in South.
Okay, it's basically south of the United States.
Yes.
South America.
A little bit off of Florida, not too far from Florida.
Yes.
And we're in New York, so it takes us about 3.5 hours on a plane to get to Puerto
What?
Rico.
Yeah,
It's
I've been
pretty
there.
close.
I've been there a
Yeah,
couple times.
it's pretty close. And Puerto Rico is called a Commonwealth. Does anyone know what a Commonwealth is?
No.
It's when
heard it.
it's part of the American property, but it has its own flag, it has its own governor, it has some of its own rules, and they don't pay the same taxes that Americans do. But they do use American money, currency. And if you're born in Puerto Rico, you don't need a passport to come to America.
Okay.
You're American. It's a little different. If you're born in Santo Domingo or in the Dominican Republic, if you're born there and you try to come to the United States, you need a passport. You need to become a citizen and all that stuff.
And to go over there?
Huh?
And to go over
Yeah.
there?
If I want to go to Santo Domingo, I need a passport. If I want to go to Puerto Rico, I just need a plane ticket.
Same.
So
Same.
so that's one of the major differences.
Wait, you need to pay for it?
Well, you always need to pay when you travel. And what you mean, pay for what? The passport or pay for
The
the?
passport.
Yeah. If you need a passport, passports are used when you're going international, when you're going to different countries. So if I want to go to Japan, I need a passport. So they need to know that I'm an American citizen and I'm going to a different country. They take it, they stamp it. It's an official document, and that means that you can enter their country for a certain amount of time, and then you have to leave. You can't stay there forever.
I believe there's also like a QR code on the like snap bracelet or whatever. And they have to like scan it so they can let you in the plane or something.
There's different ways. I haven't traveled in a while like that, but I don't doubt that there's probably some way that they could scan you into the plane or to the system. So that's kind of where Puerto Rico's at. Puerto Rico is also known for its wonderful weather, its wonderful beaches. But what's another thing that Puerto Rico is known for?
Oh,
Food.
Food. Okay, what's your
and culture.
do you have a favorite Puerto Rican dish?
Ooh, empanadas.
Same.
Empanadas is good.
My second favorite is canepas.
Oh, canepas is my favorite. As a fruit, you know when canepas when they're best?
Oh, during like the summertime, I believe.
Summertime. Do you know what month? Because I know about the month.
June.
August.
August is the month. So if you see the guys, like especially by McDonald's, if you're walking that way, the guy sells canepas. In the beginning of August, that's when they're very ripe and they're at their best. So canepas is definitely my favorite. But it's not my favorite dish. Like, what's your favorite Puerto Rican food dish? What you got?
I
You-
forgot.
You don't know? How can you forget? You just almost raised your hand and now you
Cause
forgot.
it's like
Don't hit
I
that.
was there for like
Yeah, but you
a year
are you half
ago.
Puerto Rican? You say your dad's Puerto Rican.
yeah, I
Okay, so
went
you
over there.
so you
but,
half Puerto
like,
Rican. You know you don't have a grandma that makes a certain dish that she cooks.
She does cook rice and chicken.
Rice and chicken.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
also eat pork.
Pernil.
Panil. Yeah.
Pernil is my
I
slamming.
eat paneer.
I love pernil. I love rice and beans. That's one of my favorite.
My
But I
favorite.
like pernil.
I'll go with, I'll go over to my grandma's house and she'll make me plátanos with rice, chicken.
Aguacate. I love aguacate too.
Same.
Avocado.
So I go to my grandma's house too, and she also makes me plátanos sometimes, but instead of chicken, she makes me rice and salchicha.
Ooh,
that's
arroz
a good
arroz con
one.
salchicha is good.
Yes.
That's
I
slamming.
agree.
I think I gotta go to your house for dinner. That's a typical dish for the Caribbean. I mean, you could go to Santo Domingo and get a dish like that. Jamaica. I mean, even in all the Caribbean islands, there's always rice and peas and rice and chicken, or some type of how you call it, spicy chicken or something like that.
My mom eats spicy chicken.
Okay, so that's a good. We talked about their food. What else? What else is something that's important about Puerto Rico or their culture?
Their history?
The
Oh
history.
yeah, I know
Definitely.
about their history.
Tell me.
So I forgot what they're called, but there's this like um group of people that enslaved the Puerto Ricans. And they like killed them too. There's this guy who was the leader of the group. I forgot the name of the leader in the group, but they enslaved the Puerto Ricans and killed them when they didn't listen to them.
Yeah. Well, in Puerto Rico, there before they were, taking over. There were a lot of Indians, and one of the major groups there was the Taino Indians, and
Yes,
they
that's
took
the group name. That's the group name.
they took a lot of the Indians and basically turned them over to slaves and tried to get them to become slaves. But a lot of the Indians fought against it, so it was a big war. But they're famous for fighting for their land, fighting back for their land. Another culture is that they have a place in Puerto Rico. It's called El Moro, and that's where it's at the end of the island, and it's like a fortress, and people take a lot of pictures there and stuff like that. But it's actually a fortress that was used during a war. During I think Puerto Rico was fighting with Spain or something like that, and
Yeah.
their fortress it was at the end of the island or the one of the tips of the island, and they fought off all the ships and stuff like that. So it's a real famous fort there. Now, as for the culture, because we live in New York, we live in the Bronx, a lot of the people, when they leave Puerto Rico, they migrate over here. So they usually stay on the East Coast. Some people go to Florida, and some move all the way up to New York and New Jersey and the Bronx and stuff like that. So you'll find a lot of Puerto Rican culture, especially in this neck of the woods.
I have a question.
Yes,
Would you rather listen to salsa music or bomba?
salsa.
What's bomba?
That's a
Bomba
different type of music.
Bomba is like the original music for Puerto Rico. It was like the first type of music they created, which is used by drums mostly, and then like the dance, like the singer and the
I know what you're talking
music.
You
yeah.
can look it up. You can put the
Yeah.
bomba tunes and stuff like that. I like both, but I think salsa is more of the what I learned when I was younger.
Salsa's more famous and popular, but bomba is like the original.
But and then I like music like rumberos, which is basically the ones that play the drums, and they have a very famous rhythm which everybody uses. So the rhythm is dum 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 dum. So it's that same rhythm, and
Oh,
they just keep singing
I know
over it.
that.
We're doing that
I
in
know that
school.
So
rhythm.
it's drums and it's the same rhythm.
I
They
know that
slow it
rhythm.
down, they make it faster, but it's the same thing. So I like that because I've seen them when I was younger in my neighborhood. The guys, the older men used to sit around with their what we call congas. They used to sit around with their
Congas?
congas. It's an instrument. It has like a skin on top, and they play this beat. So the men could play like three drums at the same time. So they'll play doom 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 hing, doom 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 doom, and they just keep playing that same rhythm over and over.
Excuse
And
me?
then you get you get those different
Maracas.
the maracas and different other sounds
Excuse me?
to add to it.
Like I believe in New York like they do that but with trash cans instead. Like they don't have like the
Yeah, I
proper
mean,
materials they
well,
need, so they
when you're
use like
poor,
trash cans.
you innovate, and people used to do that with like the buckets, and they play with the drumsticks and the buckets.
Yes.
The difference between that is that's actually a drum. They're playing with the sticks on a bucket, so it's more of a drum. And the one that I'm talking about is they're playing it with the hands. So it's like a rhythm, it's a conga, and they play the skin is real dried up, and it's put over this instrument, and they hit it with their hands. So that's something different.
Let's talk about
Hold on. She has something to say. Go ahead.
Okay.
In my school, like they have congas, and we have like those big drums that they're like
Bass drum.
they're in my school they're like clear on the top, and then
Bass drum.
A bass drum, so you can kind of see through it. Looks like a paper thin,
Excuse me?
like that.
no,
Timbales.
I don't know what it's called, but it's like
see.
large.
You should stop making sound effects. I'm gonna get to you. She's talking.
It's like large, and like you could hear it, and you like have to use like sticks to play it.
You're not talking about like the steel drums, like what the Jamaicans play
No.
that make that funny sound. Ding, 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 ding. Not that one. I don't know. You have to ask your teacher what
It's
it
a
is.
steady beat drum, something
What's
like that.
what you would like to say? Go ahead.
I know there's two things I want to say. I know this much because one, I did a project on it, and half of my family's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Same.
And what's the other half?
And the second thing I want to say is that can we talk more about food? Because I know a lot about the food, and we really haven't gotten like deep into
Yeah,
the
we didn't
food.
we haven't got deep into the food yet, but we were touching a little bit on the culture, and then we could go back to other things that we left out.
Okay.
In about let me see what day is it today? 11th. In about a month, something's gonna happen that involves Puerto Ricans. Does anyone know?
No.
It's a big event in New York.
Independence Day?
No, it's the Puerto Rican Day Parade, which comes in June.
Yay.
All Puerto Ricans
Do you know what day,
celebrate.
John?
Yeah, I can tell you right
My
now.
birthday's in June.
It's gonna
Same.
be
It's like
usually it's the second week in June, so I think it's the 11th.
I want to
That's
go
a
there.
that's the
That's a
day
Sunday.
after my birthday.
That's a Sunday.
I want to go there.
You should go. It's gonna be a lot of
Wait,
fun.
like on the 26th?
No. The 11th.
Oh.
I believe it's the 11th of June. Now, KIPS Bay supposedly, as far as I know, we're gonna have a float there. We're gonna have a float. So you'll be able to see it on TV, or you'll be able to, if you go to the parade, you'll be able to see our float that says KIPS Bay, and we'll have dancers and people on it and stuff like that.
Wait, like people dancers like from here.
Yeah.
Like
And
our
then-
dance teacher?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
And then
Oh.
also, if you happen to be in New York, the 10th, there's a Puerto Rican Day Festival, which takes up from 122nd in Manhattan all the way to 106th Street and 3rd Avenue. And all that street is closed off, and it's just a whole bunch of Puerto Rican events. A lot of it is musical events. They have music, they give away stuff. It's a lot of food, a lot of stands. And they celebrate the culture. You see a lot of red, white, and blue, a lot of flags,
Yeah, my
a lot of
parents
people and all that stuff. So
That's
it'll be
nice.
fun.
Is it
That's
the
really
thing
nice.
that like you go outside, like how they
Yeah.
celebrate it from DR?
Mhm.
A
It'll be
fair?
outside. It's like a big fair.
I've been to a couple parades before.
The parades are fun. I was just talking to our boss my boss Sinclair, and I was asking questions. Is it open? Are we gonna be? Am I gonna be able to be part of the float? Am I taking pictures? Could I do podcasts on it? Stuff like that. I would love to do podcasts right on the float.
Yeah,
That'll be dope.
that'd
Just
be
grab
actually
people and
really
just give
cool.
them a microphone. How do you feel? It'll be screaming all crazy. It's a fun event.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I have to take my daughters. I think that they're a little old enough now,
I'd
and I think
really
they'll
like to be
appreciate it.
part of that.
Yeah, well, I have to see if there's going to be something that, there's going to be a certain amount of kids from here and from different places that could be on the float. Then, as soon as Miss Brittany lets me know, I'll let the groups know.
I hate about that parade that one, like there's just like random people and then like they start saying hi to you, like they have to like get your hand.
Yeah,
And sometimes they like kiss you in the forehead for the
people,
kids.
Puerto Ricans are aggressive, man. Puerto Ricans are aggressive. Now, what's one of our major products? Was one of our major sponsors? A sponsor, someone that
Yeah.
when you think about Puerto Rico, you think about this particular item. Could you have any idea?
No.
No.
It's a big company. One of the biggest companies in the world is Goya. Goya makes sazon, sofrito,
I never heard of that. I
sodas,
never heard of that.
maltas. They make everything. Everything that has to do with Puerto Rican
Oh,
dishes, they make
now
it.
I know.
Mi mamá lo usa.
So if you go to the supermarket, there's like a Goya
Goya.
section. It has beans, it has sauce, it
Goya.
has, and then as it gets
mom
closer
literally only buys
to the Puerto
Goya
Rican
is very
parade,
famous.
it be Goya or Boya. It's like that's a
I wonder if there's gonna be like a Goya float.
oh obviously yes of course every year. There's no way there's not a Goya float. There's always a Goya float. Usually when I was younger, the Goya float was the float. Now we got like Hot 97 there, so we got music acts by like Fat Joe and stuff like that. So those floats are really massive because they have a big following. But I'm pretty sure if Bad Bunny was a special guest, that float will go crazy. We've had Jennifer Lopez on floats before. We've had Mark Anthony as the marshal and on floats. It's a big month of a whole bunch of events. So it's really cool to yeah, there go my little Puerto Rico button again for the culture. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I look forward to it this year.
That's so funny. Can you play it one more time?
That's a song. I don't know if you guys know. It's like a hip hop song that comes from.
My mom knows it.
Usually they play my friend Frankie Cutlass. Shout out to Frankie Cutlass.
Oh,
He's
can I say another
he's a
food
DJ
I like?
and that's his song.
Can I say another
Yes.
food I like?
White rice.
White rice with chicken cutlet.
Not really a Spanish dish.
I know, but I really like it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I will eat it right now. But white rice and beans,
Anything
chicken
white
in the
rice
oven,
or
or
rice
chicken, fricassee,
Yeah,
or stuff like that.
I had
Pork
some
chops.
of
Pork chops is
that.
wonderful.
I had that.
Oh, yellow rice and salchicha.
Oh, yeah.
The rice on
That's what I
salchichas,
said.
I see.
rice and corn.
Ooh, I've had
Arroz
that.
con maíz.
You want to know what would be in a good
Arroz con gandules, rice and peas. Let me see what else. What's another good dish? They do like mofongo.
Oh.
They do alcapurrias.
Y
It's a fry. Moro is what we call moro is Dominican, but Spanish people call it arroz con gandules. They don't really call it moro. So that's if somebody tells me, "Ay, tú quieres moro," I already know that you're not Puerto Rican. You're Dominican, or you live in a Dominican household.
Well, I'm basically mixed because my mom is Dominican and my dad's Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Puerto
the other
Rican.
half of my family is Dominican. Yeah, that's the same with me.
So yeah, so if somebody was like, because I'm Puerto Rican, my mom and my dad are both Puerto Rican. So if someone's to come up to me and be like, "Tu quieres moro?" I know what they're saying because I've been around Dominicans, but I know that it's not arroz con gandules. It's sometimes a little darker. They make it darker, and I like my rice and peas kind of like yellowish orange.
Wait,
I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican.
I think I know a good
So all of
mix.
you are Dominican and Puerto Rican. All
Yeah.
three. So you're all
My
mixed.
mom's Dominican, the other half of my family's.
Now my family's mixed now.
Rican.
My daughters are Puerto Rican and Polish. So
What's
that's-
Polish?
my wife's family is from Poland. It's from Europe.
Oh, okay.
So they're from
I'm
Europe.
learning.
Um,
Yeah.
And my daughters, they're not. She's not here, but my daughters try to speak in 3 languages, which is English, Polish, and Spanish. So every day they try to learn a different word in each language. So, like to give you an example, if I
Duolingo
say
is the best for that.
if I say something like her mother says something like, give me a kiss before you go to bed, or give me a kiss, in that's in English. Dame un beso, it'll be in Spanish, and dame bougie is in Polish. So they'll learn, that phrase or that language, and then tomorrow we'll learn something different, and we keep trying to add to the vocabulary. So it's pretty good because
How much do you think they know?
they know a lot. My daughters speak to my mother in Spanish, or try to speak to her in Spanish, and then when they speak to their grandmother, which they call babci in Polish, when they say babci, they try to speak to her or throw Polish words into it. So that's kind of like the way it works out. It's kind of cute. I mean, I would love to have them speak all 3 languages. It'll be important for
I'm
them.
trying to learn Spanish because my dad's side of the family, his whole family speaks Spanish. His sister, his mother, they don't speak English.
They don't speak
at
English?
all.
All right, maybe we should do a
My
Spanish.
dad's the
Maybe we
only
should do a
one that
Spanish
speaks
podcast. You speak Spanish?
Not
¿Tú
most
hablas
of
un
the
poquito?
time.
Tell me anything in Spanish. Háblame en español.
I don't know much in Spanish.
Anything you know in Spanish.
Hola.
Hola, that's it? You know
No,
anything in
no,
Spanish?
Tú,
You
tú
speak
quieres,
Spanish.
Everybody
tú quieres.
If I want. Yo quiero. Yo quiero.
Yo quiero.
Yeah. When it's a male, yo quiero. Tú quieres, that means you
Yo
want.
quiero. Yo quiero.
Tell me
Yo
something in
quiero.
Spanish.
Yo quiero.
Hola,
you
¿cómo tú
speak?
estás?
See, she speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
You can hear it. And I know she speaks Spanish because that's probably from her Dominican side. All right, guys. That was a nice podcast
Yeah. This was fun.
about Puerto Rico. Should I play our song one more time?
Yes.
Let's play
Play
our song.
on repeat.
Okay. Now
Louder.
I gotta play it louder. Hold up a second. I'm gonna play it.
No.
I'm gonna play it, and then we can say
Play
goodbye.
on repeat.
No, I'm gonna play it one more time.
Later.
Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check.